In this presentation, we'll introduce Dream Report and then talk specifically about its functionality and features for the life sciences and related industries. So what is Dream Report? Dream Report is a purpose-built reporting solution built from the ground up around industrial automation systems. It's an easy-to-use system that connects directly to your process control, PLCs, HMIs, SCADA systems for real-time data. It talks directly to your process historians for all the high-volume, high-speed time series historian data, and you really have to process that data quite differently than you would traditional business or transactional type data. And then connectivity to non-process data sources. Invariably, you're going to have other non-industrial sources in the plant like lab data, energy management, maintenance management type data, your own Excel spreadsheets or custom databases that you want to correlate that data with the data coming from your plant floor and from the processes. It's an easy-to-use product, and I think the reason for the quick learning curve is that it's not a programming tool. It is a configuration environment, and it does not require any heavy IT or programming skills. If you're comfortable with automation systems, with tag-based systems, HMIs and PLCs, you're going to feel very comfortable working in Dream Report. And being an industrial reporting platform, it's not just a generic reporting tool, it's got ready-to-go modules for industry. So for life sciences, obviously batch reporting is very important. Maybe in discrete manufacturing, your focus is on SPC or statistical process control. Maybe you're trying to get a handle on all your alarm and event data and you want to put together some ISA 18.2 alarm analytics, reporting on energy usage, so the module for energy usage and energy accounting. And it's a highly scalable solution providing industrial reports, dashboards, and as a data server to feed up information to other systems as well. So typically the reasons companies implement Dream Report, first of all, if there's a need for compliance or regulatory reporting. Okay, so this is a requirement imposed upon the customer by some external entity, whether it's a regulatory body, a state, FDA, EPA, maybe it's a customer requirement to have compliance reports included with a product that you're shipping with them. So these are the must-have reports. You've got to have these reports to stay in business. But really where we like to see customers go is take advantage of all the data they already have in their control system and their plant floor and utilize that to run their business better by providing meaningful and insightful reports, as well as more ad hoc and interactive dashboards, understanding the correlation between alarm data, process data, data that's coming out of the lab. So being able to seek, analyze, and take action. Let's take a look at a quick workflow of how the product works. You install Dream Report, you start a project, and the first thing the project wants you to provide is what do you want to connect to? Where's your data coming from for your reports? We have two categories of data sources we work with. The first is existing data and alarm archives. So this is data that's being stored by some external systems in their own format, whether it's process historians. On the high end, on the low end, it might be very simple CSV files. Maybe in custom databases, maybe it's proprietary HMI log files. But the point is the data is already being collected and stored, so it's ready for reporting. The other data sources we work with are real-time. So Dream Report being able to connect directly to a PLC or an HMI or a SCADA system and grab live data at the moment of report generation. Or in addition, also to be able to log that data. So if you don't already have a historian or a data logger that's logging your data, Dream Report allows you to set up data logging to a database of your choice, take this real-time data and store it under different conditions periodically, and so it's really up to you, and a very flexible data logger that is included. Once you've configured your communication drivers, then you spend all your time in the Designer Studio where you're going to lay out and configure your reports. Then for each report, you tell Dream Report how do you want to generate that report. And report generation can either be automated or on demand. If it's automated, it can be scheduled daily, weekly, end of every shift, last day of the month, completely up to you how you want to schedule these reports. It might be an event-triggered report. So a good example of that is a batch report. At the completion of a batch, you want to trigger a batch report automatically. So we can look at that batch status tag when it equals 1 or 0, whatever the condition is. We can then trigger the report based on that. And then we have several ways to generate reports on demand. Typically, it's done through the included Dream Report web portal. The last piece of this workflow is just specifying the output format and the distribution of the reports. So the output format is very flexible. We support PDFs, Excel, CSV, XML outputs, as well as web outputs. And if it's a web report, then you can make it highly interactive as well. And we'll focus on that in an upcoming slide. Finally, where the report's going to be generated to. So reports can be stored locally on the Dream Report server, on a network share, automatically posted to an FTP server, emailed as an attachment, printed, or even interacted with on a mobile device. So connectivity is where it all starts. And Dream Report is really unrivaled in its connectivity. We have over 125 communication drivers. Most of them are native drivers built specifically for different automation platforms, as well as support for all the different industrial and business protocols. So whether it's OPC directly to a PLC or a Modbus device, or maybe it's to your own database, so you want to go through ODBC or an existing Excel spreadsheet. And the industrial protocols are typically built using toolkits from the different automation vendors and partners we work with. So everything from OSI Pi and Pi event frames and Prophecy Historian from GE and Rockwell Factory Talk Historian and VT Skater. You name it, we have connectors for HMI products, for historians, alarm and event loggers, and directly to PLCs. Additionally, we support manual data entry and then report it on along with all the other process data. The Designer Studio, again, is where you're going to lay out and configure your reports. It's a very graphical drag and drop environment. All the different drawing objects, display objects, widgets are all ready to go. As important, maybe even more important than all the nice graphics, is the large library of statistical functions or metrics that are all designed for industrial and process reporting. Everything from equipment up and down time and performance metrics and OEE calculations and alarm analytics and batch metrics. All of these are calculations that are ready to go. All you have to do is point to tags, set up time ranges, and tell Dream Report what statistical function or metric you want to apply to that raw data. We encourage the use of templates. Very easy to validate a system if you're validating templates as opposed to validating codes. Also create templates for different types of reports, reuse from project to project. If you're a systems integrator, very easy to switch out the data sources that feed these templates. And of course, everything in a secure environment. So that's the design side of Dream Report. What do the end users see? So some users just want those reports automatically generated, either on a schedule or on a batch end or some trigger, emailed to them, maybe just stored on a network share for future reference if needed. But most users want to actively interact with the system. So to do that, we provide the functionality through the Dream Report web portal. And this is a browser-based portal that allows you to do several things. Review reports, do ad hoc or dynamic report generation, do manual data entry through the web portal. It also allows you to do things like trending. So you might have different data sources, you want to use a common trending tool, and Dream Report's a great tool for that. Additionally, it can be used for dashboarding, live or semi-live dashboards. And because these dashboards are web pages, they can be set to be interactive. So you can get the calculations to update periodically. You can see hyperlinks, maybe click on a calculation, show me the raw data behind that calculation, save it off to a CSV file, show me a quick trend of that data. So you might start off with something that looks pretty static, but you can really bring it to life with all the hyperlinks that we enable in web reports. You can embed content from other applications, whether it's other dashboarding tools, video feeds, documents, and conversely, you can take content from Dream Report and make it a web part that can be then embedded in other HMIs and other dashboarding tools as well. And finally, the web portal is a very useful and powerful collaboration tool where you can review reports, send messages, or attach the reports to your team or team leaders, and really driving collaboration and accountability because all of that messaging between users can also be tracked in the internal audit trail. Okay, let's focus more on the functionality around life sciences, the pharmaceutical industries, and by extension, really food and beverage reporting as well. So life sciences, definitely the most demanding reporting requirements of any industry. And of course, a lot of that is driven by the FDA requirements. And Dream Report is an ideal solution. All the tools required to build a 21 CFR Part 11 compliant reporting solution are there. So some of the key features that facilitate that, the concept of batch definitions, understanding what a batch is, role-based security, who can do what in different parts of the product, version control, audit trail, what's happening at runtime, manual data entry, again with audit trails, and the ability to require electronic signatures on your PDF reports. So the type of applications or reporting we see in this industry, obviously batch reports is a big one, CIP or clean in place, any kind of validation reporting, lab data, set point analysis, all of these are just great candidates for using Dream Report. In terms of validation and regulatory compliance, Dream Report includes all the features that you need for implementing a Part 11 compliant reporting solution. So first of all, it starts with security. Integrated security across all the modules in Dream Report, who can do what in Studio, who can do what at runtime, which reports a user or a user group can get to. Version control, should you choose to enable this. Every time you make a change to a report design, when you check it back in, you have to put a comment. Changes are deployed, but we keep track of those changes in a secure backend database. And later on, you can review what those changes were. Maybe somebody made a change that was not authorized, and you notice that the revision number at the top of the report has been incremented when it shouldn't have been. That indicates that somebody made a change. You can review the changes and actually then roll back to an earlier revision of the report or even of the whole project for that matter. The audit trail functionality keeps track of what's happening at runtime. Version control keeps track in design or studio mode. Audit trails runtime tracking. So who had a login failed or successful login, who generated a report, who manually entered data and what did they enter. All of that can be tracked and then reported on as well, because it's again stored in an internal database, and then you can run a report on the activity around the running project. PDF security, if you set the output format of a report to be a PDF, all the PDF security features are available. Who can print, who can copy the data, etc. And that's simply checkbox options. You have the ability to require electronic signatures on your PDF reports, and these can be a single signature, multiple signatures, for instance, a done by and a check by signature. Certain people are authorized to sign reports. Quick visual indicator on the web portal if a report is completely signed, if it's only partially signed or completely unsigned. And not only can people sign reports, but we also have some workflow and rules around that. So when a report generates, for instance, whoever is authorized to sign it, they can be sent a notification automatically saying that this report is waiting for their signature, and you can include a link to the e-signature page for them. If a second or third signature is required, you could set up a signing event, meaning when somebody signs, it then sends a notification to somebody else to say, hey, your signature is expected for a final review on this report. As well as enforcing the order in which, so you can't do a check by before the done by. That sequence can be enforced. Really, these features are critical to so many industries, and most reporting packages don't include all or any of this functionality. Since you're implementing Dream Report, what other areas of opportunity do you have to use Dream Report in your plant or your environment? Alarm and event reporting and analysis. You've probably got a lot of alarm and event data in your alarm loggers, and the trick is, of course, to make sense of it, to aggregate it and see patterns in your alarms, what's happening. And the ISA 18.2 standard is a wonderful standard that really lets you make sense of all your alarm and event data to rationalize your alarms. We have all the metrics that are specified in the 18.2 standard, and you can build dashboards like this, which really let you slice and dice and contextualize your alarms in a meaningful context. Statistical process control, SPC, enforcing your Western Electric or Nelson SPC rules with write back to an HMI. So Dream Report could be analyzing your data in an SPC context. Some SPC rule is violated. You could then set an alarm back at the HMI and take some action there. Any kind of energy accounting, you might have different rates and tariffs that your utility providers are charging you at different times of the day or different dates of the year. Dream Report has a cost calculation module that lets you take these rates and then apply them to meter readings to come up with actual costs to run assets utilizing the cost calculation module. Any kind of equipment performance, up and down time reporting, OE calculations, Dream Report can give you that functionality. Any environmental compliance, industrial water, wastewater treatment, continuous emissions monitoring, air quality. If you've got boilers in the plant that you have to report on, natural gas usage and fuel oil, again, Dream Report is a wonderful solution for that. Any kind of building management systems, from clean rooms just to general BMS information, Dream Report is used in many applications like that. Any kind of plant utilities and dashboards, and ad hoc trending, and a whole lot more. So we'd encourage you to download the software. You can go to our website and go to the downloads link. That will let you download the full software with no functional limitations for 30 minutes at a time. But please contact us and we'd be happy to give you a 1 or 2 month temporary license so you can really put it through its paces. And we have a lot of tools for self-learning, whether it's how-to videos and tech notes and FAQs on the Dream Report knowledge base. And then we offer online training classes, instructor-led training, which are a great way to really fast-track your skills for the software. And we do those about every 6 to 8 weeks. Finally, our Dream Report professional services team can help you implement a project, whether it's a complete turnkey reporting solution, adding to what you already have, maybe auditing a project, building project documentation and validation documentation. Nobody knows Dream Report the way we do, and this really is a great way to fast-track your results and success with the product by taking advantage of our skilled professional services. Thank you, and please feel free to contact us if you have any questions, if you'd like a more detailed demo, or if you would like any more information about the Dream Report solution.